All righty. Can you hear me, Andrea? You're good? Okay, awesome. Yay. Okay, well, again, thank you so much for joining me, Andrea, and for being willing to speak to the parents or just kind of share your experience with us here at the school. For those who don't know you, this is Andrea King, and she is mom to our twins, Oscar and Greta. And Oscar and Greta are great kids, so we really enjoyed having them. And like I was mentioning to you before we started recording, one of the things I love so much about your story is that Oscar and Greta weren't one of our original students. If I recall correctly, I'm trying to think back, I think you actually came to our original meeting about the school and then didn't sign them up immediately. So you came to the meeting, decided not to sign them up, but then you came back and found us later. So I don't know if you want to just kind of briefly tell us the story of how you came to be a part of our school.
Sure. I mean, just to be brief about it, I mean, we came to the meeting at the library and I was like, we have to do this, we have to do this. But at the time, we couldn't afford it for two kids. We had just moved here when they were babies. And so we just frankly couldn't afford two children in a short term. You know how it's only 4 hours in the day and I needed a little more assistance. But then, you know, once we were in a better financial position, I was like, we're putting them in immediately. So it's been the best choice we've made here for sure.
Awesome. Okay. So, and I know that they went to another school, and I think when they first started out with us, they were attending, I think, 2 days a week.
2 days a week. And then we had them in another school 3 days a week that we were very unhappy with ultimately. And so we switched over to doing full time with you.
Okay. And so I remember when they started attending 5 days a week. And do you feel like, this is one question that parents ask me, do you feel like there was a big difference? Did you notice a big difference from switching to the 2 days to the 5 days a week?
Huge difference. There's a huge difference in terms of their comfort level and their growth in Spanish and their confidence in themselves in Spanish. You know, for 2 days a week, it's like it didn't really ever sink in as much as I was expecting it to. And that may have been, you know, inflated expectations on my part. But when we finally moved them to 5 days, it has been absolutely amazing to see them flourish the way that they have, both socially and academically. So, yeah.
And it's pretty impressive because, like you said, they didn't start with us from the very beginning. So they were a little bit older when they joined us. I think maybe they were 3 years old when they were doing the 2-day program. And I think they did the 5 days when they were 4. But we've still had amazing results with Oscar and Greta. So that's one thing that's really impressive about them.
Absolutely. Especially I saw them get so much stronger in terms of, I have one child that's very anxious and one child that's very shy. And those things have really dissipated at 5 days a week. You know, my son would cry at the door every day for almost a year. But then he was fine. You know, you would send me a picture like while I was still driving home and there he was playing and he was fine. But when we finally hit 5 days a week, I just think it was such a better, like the routine was solid. They knew what to expect every day. Anyway, it's just,
maybe the consistency made a difference for him, I think.
Yes.
And now he doesn't look back. He runs in the door pretty much.
No, he had nothing to do with me. He's like, bye. So yeah.
So they finished
difference. Yeah.
So they finished our pre-K2 program last year. Well, I guess we could say finished with the pandemic, but they finished as best as we could. We've been really consistent and sent them summer camp after they finished preschool, and then now they're doing our afternoon kindergarten program.
That's right.
How do you feel about this? One question. I think you're doing homeschool in the morning.
I am. Yes.
Doing English language homeschool, and then in the afternoon they come and they do our afternoon kindergarten. And
that's right.
So how do you feel about their academic progress? Are you pretty pleased? What do you think?
I am so pleased. I mean, I feel like the Spanish has really helped them in terms of reading in English this year. I feel like my daughter is still a little bit stronger reading Spanish than she is English. But Oscar's doing really well in both. And especially with math, you know, their math is, you know, I remember you telling me about what the levels are expected in North Carolina, because we do plan to send them to public school after this year, I hope. But, you know, just to make sure that I was keeping them on track while homeschooling. And I think it's working for us. I mean, obviously kindergarten is not much work in terms of homeschooling. It's just, you know, reading, writing, and math for an hour, hour and a half a day. But yeah, I'm really happy that they have this school to go to in the afternoons though, because I really wanted them to still have socialization and to keep the Spanish up. It'll go away if you don't keep it up. So that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And both of your kids are good readers. They're definitely on grade level. I know for sure kindergarten.
Yeah.
And I can say that Oscar is reading probably at a first grade level in Spanish. Greta's approaching first grade, so it's pretty impressive. And their English, and you've told me about their English skills, and I've seen their English skills too. So they're doing pretty well with that as well.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely above grade level.
Got so lucky this year to be able to stay with you for another year. You know, it's been good.
Do you have any tips for parents who maybe are wanting to teach their children English at home? For parents maybe who are a little bit worried, okay, my child's only learning how to read in Spanish at school, so what can I do to help them with their English at home? What have you done?
I mean, really, it's just read alouds. We do read alouds every day. And, you know, the kids, you know, we go to the library, they get excited about picking out books that they want to read, and then we come home and read those. Because I'm not a Spanish speaker, so I'm not able to support them in that way, but I am doing the stuff, you know, reading aloud, I think was the most important thing. It's what I read about in multiple studies, and I have multiple friends who have done homeschooling themselves. This was not in my plan. I did not want to homeschool, but it has been a good temporary fix for us. And I think, it's really just been reading in English, I think has helped.
There's lots of exposure to text, lots of exposure to books and reading.
Yes.
Okay. The whole language approach.
Right. Well, although I will also say we did buy the English language curriculum that you use at your school. So, you know, we have been doing the same games that the kids know about in Spanish, but we just, you know, we're doing English phonics, you know, that and phonological awareness. So I think that has also helped, basically supporting the curriculum you have.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
So I guess, do you have any advice or any suggestions for parents who are maybe on the fence, who are unsure about enrolling their preschooler in a Spanish language preschool? What would you say to them?
I mean, I guess our main reason for doing it was I never learned Spanish. I grew up in Germany for a couple of years and went to German school. And I think that experience really helped me. Well, I don't know German anymore. I was able to pick up additional languages later on in life pretty easily, which was unexpected since I was a young adult when I started studying the language that I work in today. And I think, and then as far as my husband's concerned, he wanted to let everybody know that, you know, in America, we're like the only ones who don't focus on having a second language or third. I mean, it's normal everywhere else. And here it's a unique experience. And that's why we're so lucky that we moved here and found your school, because an immersion experience was really what I wanted for my kids. And I have seen nothing but positives from it. There was a speech delay a little bit in English at the beginning, but then it was gone. And now it, you know, I don't even remember it anymore that I was ever worried. It's so funny to me that I was ever worried about it. So,
yeah. And they still speak English at home. They didn't lose that.
Exactly. They haven't yet figured out that they can talk to each other about anything, and I would not understand it if they wanted to. I'm sure they will soon.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's all my questions. Do you have anything you wanted to add? Anything else?
I mean, I don't think so. All I want to say is, you know, it is, since I did have experience in another school, another preschool in town, I mean, I just want to emphasize that the quality of the education, the professionalism of the teachers and the administration, the love and commitment that the school shows for each individual child and meeting them where they are, is just beyond impressive. And I don't think it has a peer in Wilmington at all. So it's a great place.
Thank you so much. We've enjoyed them, and the pandemic has been very disruptive, but I'm super appreciative for the opportunity it gave us just another year with some of these kids that we love. You know, Oscar and Greta are some of our favorites, and you know, some of their classmates have been able to join us for another year, so it's really special. And our afternoon kindergarten wasn't even really on our radar, but it's something that
I know.
we did, and we
I know. I think I asked you, please, will you have something?
It might have been your idea. It really might have been. And we try to listen to parents and incorporate you guys' ideas. And I told everyone our morning kindergarten is full, but hey, you know, we could do an afternoon, and you guys jumped right on it. So
yeah, 100%. It was great. It has been great. So
nice. Okay. Well, thank you again for joining us, Andrew. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks, Idel.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Bye. You too.